What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. My name is Joey. This is Talking Faith, and today we are going to be talking about singleness. And for those of you who don't know, this is a Christian-based channel, but it's also not, I'm not a pastor. So this isn't going to be just some in-depth Bible lesson. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the subject. Will it be biblically based? I do my best, of course, but this isn't a sermon or anything like that. This is just me being real with y'all. I mean, I don't look like a pastor, I don't think, right now. But I love Jesus, and that's what matters. And I just want to talk about something that has become a very relevant topic in today's world. So let's get right into it. So I get some of y'all watching this might be married, some of you might be dating, and some of you might be single. And I hope all of you listen to this, as it's kind of for everyone in a sense. Now, I'm coming at this as a single man. I've been single for a while now. And it's by choice. It really is. I spent a lot of years of my life kind of just doing the casual dating thing. I've had a serious relationship in the past, but recently I've wanted to take a step back from all of it. So I haven't been dating really at all. I'm trying to get closer to Jesus and just pursue him fully right now. But one of the hardest things that I've kind of dealt with is when you see anybody in the Christian community, not anybody, but a lot of people, one of the first things they come up to you and talk about and they ask you about is your relationship status. You know, they'll be like, hey, for me, hey Joey, are you settled down yet? Have you found your person yet? Are you gonna settle down and start a family? All this stuff. In all honesty, I really enjoy being single. Now, I'm blessed because I have a great family. I have great friends, so I'm not alone. And I think a lot of people put alone and single in the same category. But I'm single, but I don't feel alone. I have good people around me, and I'm the kind of guy who is not going to just settle just for the sake of being with someone. I know a lot of people, I believe in my opinion, that got married just because they didn't want to be alone. They found someone who kind of liked them, they kind of liked, and they settled down and started dating or got married, and that's not me. I'd rather be single than do that. Now, with that being said, if God puts a woman in my life who I really like and it's a good relationship, I'm not opposed to that either, but I enjoy being single. And I look at guys like Paul in the Bible, and their main mission was to pursue Jesus, right? Now, I get it. We live in a world where if you're single, there might be more temptations. So if you're being single just for the sake of being single and not pursuing Jesus, and this is of course speaking as a Christian, that's one thing, and I've been there. I liked going out to the bars on Saturdays and meeting pretty girls and stuff like that. I used to enjoy that stuff, and I was being single for the wrong reason. Now my singleness is something where I'm pursuing Jesus, and if I'm ever going to be a boyfriend or a husband again, or I say boyfriend again, a husband someday, I need to be in the right mindset, and I need to pursue Jesus. It makes it very unattractive to go to church and stuff because everybody is asking you that, and some of the people will try to sit down with you and be like, man, you gotta find a person, you gotta find your wife, you gotta, and it's almost like we worship marriage culture. It's like, who would you be without your wife, dude? Would you still be a Christian? Would you still love Jesus, or do you love Jesus because he gave you this wife? For me, I'm a single man. I love Jesus because I love Jesus. I don't need someone like that. If I meet a woman and she loves Jesus, sure. But again, she's not my everything. Jesus is my everything. And I think a lot of Christian guys, and Christian people in general, but a lot of Christian guys will make their wife their everything. And that is not where you want to be. And it's the same thing for girls too. I think some girls, some girls want a man who leads, and that's okay. But women also need to, build their relationship with Jesus. It's the same thing. So I don't want marriage to define me, so I'm not rushing to that. And I don't want to discourage you from getting married because it is a good thing. But I also think we need to take a different look at singleness. I don't think singleness is some kind of curse. Some Christians look at it like it's the worst thing ever. I talk to some of these Christians, man, and the way they talk about it, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Again, people like Paul in the Bible who didn't settle down and get married, but he made such a big impact for God's kingdom. So the Bible does talk about like finding, a mate, if you will, a wife is a good thing, but it also doesn't say like you have to get married. I'm going to use one of these Christian terms that people like to use, but in my season of singleness, which I don't like using that term, I think it's so cheesy, but I get it. This is what I think God wants me to be single right now so I can fully pursue him and get out of the lifestyle I was living. Because again, I will be very honest. I'm very honest about the life I've lived. I was going out to the bars all the time with my friends, flirting with the pretty girls, drinking a lot. Like, that was my lifestyle. It was the kind of lifestyle that this world would glorify. Oh, you in your mid to late 20s. Awesome. Go out, get drunk, hook up, whatever. That's the kind of lifestyle this world likes to glorify. But we are called to be set apart. And now, it's just building towards something bigger as a man. And I had to get away from that lifestyle, give my life all the way to Jesus Christ. Not halfway to Jesus Christ, all the way to Jesus Christ. Because I wasn't ready to be a good husband or a good boyfriend. If I ever met a good Christian woman when I was living that lifestyle, it was more like a casual dating thing. Then I'd say, hey, let's go out on Saturday and get drunk or whatever. And she wouldn't want to do that. And I'd be like, this is boring. Adios. I was becoming the man that I never thought I'd be. It's not the kind of man that deserves or should be in a relationship, a good, healthy, Christian, God-fearing relationship. So now I'm at the point where I'm in a much better mindset. I do think if I were to find like a girlfriend or something, now I'd be more ready for that sort of thing. But I'm not just making this video to talk about my personal life. I think everyone has their own journey. And if you are someone who is single and you've probably experienced the whole, hey, where's your person people, just smile at them and just say, you know what, right now I'm single. I'm trusting God. That's all there is to it. And the worst is when like you get like the lecture, right? Like some people will ask and it's whatever, but then some people will like try to take you under their wing and they're like, man, you'll find your person. It's okay. You'll find her. It's all good. I'm like, bro, we're chilling, but then I get it. People are different. Like some people wouldn't be okay in my shoes because I like being single. I genuinely do. I'm an uncle to some great nephews and nieces. I love the single uncle lifestyle. I love going over to my parents' house whenever I want. I love doing whatever I want to do when I want to do it. Now, I'm not talking about like, doing stupid stuff, but, after this video, if I want to kick back and watch a TV show at 10 o'clock at night, I can do that. It's kind of a freeing lifestyle. So I genuinely enjoy being single. And all of my friends pretty much are in relationships in the town I'm in. And I don't mind it. Like, it's fun hanging out with them. It's not one of those things where I'm like, oh, I'm the fifth wheel or whatever. Oh no, woe was me. Like, no, I think it's funny. I can kind of tease them. I can make fun of them. They can make fun of me. We go back and forth. It's fun. I don't have a problem with it. But I get it. Some people wouldn't be okay in that position because they'd feel left out or they'd feel sad. And, do I get sad about other things? Absolutely. I'm not trying to sit here and project the whole super tough guy. I never feel anything. No, like I get sad, I get angry, I get everything, but not about this topic. I like being single. If you are someone who doesn't like being single, that's okay. Like, go do your thing. Go do your thing. Date, find your wife. Nothing wrong with settling down. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that singleness isn't the worst thing, even though Christians, I think, sometimes think it is. I think people think like, I went to not a very small, but a fairly small Christian college. And there was a thing there called Ring by Spring. And basically people like almost were like stressed if they didn't find, again, their person by the time they were out of college. And I never had those thoughts, thankfully, but a lot of people just rushed into it. And then I know some people who are either in very unhappy marriages or they ended up getting divorced not long after. I don't want to be divorced at 25 years old because I rushed into a marriage at 22 years old. I just don't want to do it. Now, I've made my own share of mistakes. I haven't lived a perfect life, far from it. But I didn't get divorced at 25 years old. I'm very content in my man cave house, whatever you want to call it, So that's where I'm at. If anybody wants to talk about this, reach out to me. I'm on Instagram because I know this is a difficult subject and I don't think a lot of people address it. I think a lot of people talk about how do you find your person, but I don't think they talk about, when you're single, like how do you enjoy it? How do you deal with it? How do you go with it? How do you embrace it in a sense? So that's the point I wanted to make. I wanted to just very much discuss this topic because it's a topic that, again, people in the Christian church, they just look down on. So that's about all I got. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.